uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom! Well, hello humans. Today's video is about the 5 most overpowered weapons in PUBG Mobile. There are 3 crate weapons and 2 non-crate weapons, which if you've been keeping track is the most non-crate weapons I've ever had in a top 5 list, which is pretty incredible, I think, and a testament to the kind of buffs that have been screaming out of the PUBG Mobile development office in the last 3 or 4 patches. The first cab off the rank is the AUG. The AUG is an incredible AR. The highest bullet speed in PUBG Mobile for an AR at 937 meters a second. The best recoil of any of the ARs. We did recoil tests where I measured the individual distance between each round, average horizontal and vertical recoil, not just looked at squiggly lines on a spreadsheet. And the AUG came out as the #1 recoil. Better than the M4, better than the SCAR, better than all of them. And it also has a round that is 43 base damage. Now that is higher than the SCAR's buffed 42 and much higher than the 40.9 of the M416. In addition to all that, it has 741 rounds a minute as a rate of fire. The SCAR, the M4, all the other 5.56 ARs for the most part, they have 638, which gives the AUG a lightning fast 0.243 time to kill. Just a massive ding-dong fighter. It's probably the most versatile weapon in game, taking that title from me from the Mark 14 because you can do this at the same time as being able to hip fire in CQC and just ADS in the mid-range. It's a phenomenal gun and the #1 gun in game. I mean, it's not great at headshots at 400 meters like an AWM, but it doesn't move. Like the recoil on this gun is filthy. And not only has it got that recoil, like look at the setup. The recoil, we're not lying down for these recoil shots. These sprays, they're just absolutely smooth as a bell. Doesn't matter how fast they're going, the AUG could catch them. So if the AUG's this fantastic, why do more people not run it? And why do people tend to leave it in crates? Or a lot of people tend to leave it in crates? Well, people don't know what they're doing. That's the problem. Moving right along, the gun that I formerly considered the most versatile in PUBG Mobile, which has now been taken by the AUG, is the Mark 14. The reason I think the Mark 14 is so incredible and deserves a spot in the top 5 is its ability to do this, because it has a whopping 60 base alpha damage round, which, if you're wondering, means that your headshots are pretty freaking nasty. A Mark 14 headshot will do 98 to a level 1 helmet and 84 to a level 2 helmet. So if they're not 100% health like you saw in that last clip, the Mark 14 will knock them out. It's also been buffed and buffed and buffed again in terms of bullet speed. It's at 937 meters a second now, which is the same as the AUGs, which is the same as your 5.56 variety, which means you have incredibly good speed. And did I mention that it's also got the fastest time to kill of any gun in the game, auto-wise? This 60 damage round fires at the same speed as a M416. Means your time to kill is 0.19 seconds. And despite lots of people not realizing that the recoil is actually controllable enough to spray, it still gets left in crates constantly. We'll kill people who've been at flare drops and they'll have an AWM in their backpack or they'll have a Grazer in their backpack and everyone will go racing for the flare drop because we know that the gun that's in the flare drop is a Mark 14. Some people don't even realize it's able to do more than a single shot. Like, these are 2 sprays in a row with a 4X using this thing. I can do it and I'm nearly 50. What is wrong with the player base? Why do they? And then you do this too. Like, I've got it on full auto and I'm just using tap control so that I'm only firing 1 shot at a time. It's not hard. It's so easy to control this gun. Well, I mean, look, it's not as easy as an M4, but it's so easy compared to how people seem to think it is. People seem to think the Mark 14 is like controlling a wild bucking bronco. It's nuts how good this gun is. This and the AUG run together. Wow, it's a loadout. It's a loadout and a half. I have problems where I run those two guns together. I'm like, I don't know which gun to use. I don't know which gun is best for this situation because they are both so incredible. The next gun up is a gun that's actually taken a little bit of juice out of the Mark 14, and that is the other M14, the Mini 14. The Mini 14 has been buffed, and then it got buffed, and then just to make sure that it wasn't underbuffed, they buffed it again. The Mini 14's damage in the main has been the reason it's gone through the roof. It's gone up into the mid-50s now with a 53.9 base damage round. It used to be 45. That's just a monumental climb. And they also lowered the recoil, because I don't know, Mini recoil was never a big deal, but it's now filthy. You can step on it, you can tap it so fast that it's better for me in terms of long-range tapping using DMRs than the Mark 14 is. I mean, watch this. This little sequence of shots at school will tell you that's a 6x scope. And the Mini used to struggle in peak fights against Car 98s and such, but now you can fire two shots so quickly at 1,000 meters a second bullet speed, like 1,000 meters a second bullet speed. Car 98's bullet speed is nowhere near that. Your Car 98 bullet speed is 789 meters a second, and that's after a couple of buffs. The Mini 14's bullet speed is so phenomenally high that it can now quite often clear people with double headshots using an 8x or a 6x at extreme ranges. Even just hitting body shots. Like, how about that? And there's clips in here that I'm not putting up that that's over 200 meters away. You don't have to. The recoil is. Look how fast I'm firing this gun, and the recoil is not doing anything. It might rise a little bit, but you can sort that out so easily. It's 250 meters. And in the mid-range, it's totally usable on a Switch as the same kind of range that you'd use a SCAR-L or an M416 for sprays, like that 100 meters, 75 meter range, like this range here. That Mini owns it. Mini absolutely owns it. The next gun along is an AWM. And I'm going to use less time to put this gun in here than anything else, mainly because it's just so obvious. Like, the AWM's the god gun. It's been the god gun forever. The AMR fits into this bracket. I still think the AWM beats the AMR just because of the exceptionally difficult amount of ammunition you get, but also because the AMR has a thing where you click on it, and then if you want to fire quickly again, it has like a limiter on how quickly you can fire it. So you'll find yourself often pressing the button, firing the AMR, pressing the button to fire it again, and then the cooldown doesn't work, and then you have to press it again after that, and then you've got to readjust your aim, and you end up missing the shot. Also, the AWM is now quite rare in crates. I don't know if you've noticed this. I'm doing a video. I'm tracking the amount of times I get stuff out of crates, and it's going to surprise you how rare the AWM is now. It's pretty crazy. But the AWM, obviously, like the god gun, knocks everyone with a level 3 helmet and down. One shots, level 1 vests, nearly one shots level 2 vests at 93 damage. It's just no 46 damage to a limb. The final gun is the AKM. I have clutched up so many squad wipes with this gun in the last 2 patches. This isn't unranked. This is just the AKM doing things, and me using this little section at pool, by the way, is super underrated. I ran here specifically for this squad fight because I knew I would be able to exploit this little circuit here where you can go up and down these stairs, off the ramp on the left, and then come back up through the door underneath. It's so nice. The reason the AKM is so good now is it's, again, a recipient of a whole buttocks load of buffs. It's another gun as well that people overestimate the amount of recoil they have to deal with. The Honey Badger is the one gun that I really can't deal with recoil-wise. It just doesn't work for me. The AK, it's not as bad as people think at all. And it has despite all the buffs it's received, it's never stopped having the stupidly strong stopping power with the headshots. And now we know, obviously, with the limb damage, the way it is, it's just completely broken. The AKM's limb damage is 32.4. 32.4. I mean, you're talking about hitting someone in the leg and you're doing a third of their health. I can't stress how overpowered this gun is for this kind of behavior, because what you'll do is you'll get an AKM headshot, and an AKM headshot is a stupidly big thing. The AKM's got a great multiplier on its headshots. It does 47.9 base damage, which means it does 110 damage to a head. Okay, that means you'll one-shot someone if they don't wear a helmet. You'll do 77 damage to someone if they're wearing a level 1 helmet, which, as you know, if you are healing, you do a 75% heal. AKM's going to do a lot of good things. And it allows you to rip people out of cars like that. And it's so clutch coming into the final circles. It's just incredible. The way you can rip through people as they're driving cars, because you'll get that ding, ding, and it's like they're done. They're done. If you've hit any other shot with them, it's going to pull them out of the car. Like, it's so strong. And the limb shots being 32.4 means any shot is going to do big damage. Like with a lot of guns, you've got to hope for a headshot and a body shot, or things are going to go badly. The AKM, that's not the case. The AKM, a headshot and anything is the end of the road. It's sure, it's not the fastest firing gun in the game. It doesn't make any difference. It's only 625 rounds per minute, which doesn't make any difference. It's not about the rounds per minute with this thing. It's about the raw damage output. And when you're clutching up with no armor and you've just got to get them down, the AKM is the gun that can save you. It's the gun that can do enough damage to actually get you out of jail. That's my top 5 most overpowered weapons currently in PUBG Mobile. There's a lot of guns that are very, very good that I think just struggle due to certain things. Things like the UMP, for instance. The UMP is amazing in hipfire CQC, but it's specifically just going to do that. It's not going to do anything else for you. It's so bad at everything else. Great, you can spray with the UMP at range if they're not moving, because 360 meters a second bullet speed means you've got to lead by like 3 car lengths if someone's moving in a car. And if they don't drive in straight lines or run in straight lines, you're never going to do anything to them. Same with the DBS and such. Like, sure, they are great at 3 feet as long as all the shots count and you don't get desynced, and then the DBS is amazing. But apart from that, like, yeah, it's not for me. I can see the argument for the DBS. It was the one that was closest to making the top 5. Anyway, I'm Bushka. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and yeah, watch the streams. Sunday night NA, Thursday night NA, and have a nice time. Au revoir, amigos.